Julius Erving, Dr. J, probably the best all-around basketball player in the game. His first step on the road to success began with getting involved, being willing to learn and try new things. Basketball, one of the things he tried, broadened his horizons at an early age.
I started playing at a recreation center in Hempstead, Long Island, where I grew up, and the coach that I had then, at that time, didn't just teach me the game of basketball, but he emphasized to me all the important things that a young man should understand in growing up. We traveled around Long Island, we traveled around Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and around the whole New York area, and I got a chance to see what was on the other side. I got a chance to see people with big homes, color TVs, 2 cars in their garage. And the questions that came to my mind at that time were, well, why am I in the situation that I'm in? And these people in much better situations financially, and they seem to be much happier people. The answers that he gave me were, well, Julius, these people have attained these things because they have gone through this system here in America, which is a very competitive, hard-nosed system. The way that you can attain the things that you see and that you want are to become part of that system and conform to the ideals of that same system and place yourself on an avenue that's going to lead you to bigger and better things. Basketball just became one of the many things that I became interested in at the time. I participated in other sports, played football, I played baseball. While I was in school, I was active in the student council organization, the student government, and I became a very diversified young man. And I think it's important for a young kid who's in high school now, who's in junior high school, to come to try and understand himself and what he's all about. And in exposing himself to many different types of things, learn from them, have a youthful type of enthusiasm in relating to the things that he's exposed himself to, and always want to learn, have that desire.
Kentucky Colonels basketball with WLKY-TV sports director Dave Conrad and former U of L head coach John Dromo. Tonight, from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island, New York, the Kentucky Colonels meet the New York Nets. Tonight's game is brought to you by Dave Conrad.
County Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. I'm Dave Conrad with John Dromo, and the Kentucky Colonels for this playoff series against the New York Nets are now being introduced. All of the Colonels, including the starting lineup. John, as we enter this best of 7, Julius Erving, Larry Keenan, Billy Paultz, Brian Taylor, John Williamson on the court to start this first playoff game. Dan Issel, Jim Bradley, Artis Gilmore, Chuck Williams, and Louis Dampier. Tip is controlled by the Colonels. Dan Issel, who led the Colonels in scoring during the regular season against the New York Nets. Jim Bradley, the rookie, straight out, shot is no good, chased down on the floor by Dan Issel. Good hands man, picks it back up and throws it away on the pass intended.
The Nets are going to gamble. They're going to put Julius Erving on Dan Issel, hoping to shut off Issel, but he could get in trouble, foul trouble, because Dan's tough underneath the basket.
Williamson, a rookie, out of New Mexico State, to Brian Taylor, who was the Rookie of the Year in the ABA last year. Short is way off, goes out of bounds, and it is Kentucky.
Rebounding of the Nets. He was there when the ball hit, but then landed out of bounds.
2 rookies in the starting lineup for New York. For Kentucky, one hands the ball to Issel. Dan's turnaround jumper is no good. Bradley pulls it back down, puts it back up in the key. It's no good. Goes out of bounds. Whose ball?
Erving, but they're trying to cause a mismatch.
Gilmore brings it into Louis Dampier, right side, and that is the first basket of this game. 2-0 Kentucky.
One of Kentucky Colonel's favorite out-of-bounds play. Louis Dampier coming off of a high pick by Artis Gilmore. And Paultz and Gilmore are really in it.
This is the 7th consecutive year In the history of the ABA, the Kentucky Colonels are in the playoffs. Paultz misses. Ball goes high in the air, and Jim Bradley has it for Kentucky. Into the front court, pulls up short, picked up by John Williamson. Left side, Chuck Williams fakes. Drives down to the baseline. He's checked off there. Tries to go back again. Drops it off to Jim Bradley. Jumper on the baseline, no good. And a foul on the rebound is Louis Dampier.
They'll give it to someone else, but now they'll lay off of him if he doesn't shoot, so he's got to start shooting.
Julius Irving.
That's his first shot. He's not adverse to shooting.
Perhaps the best forward in professional basketball.
Well, I think he's the most exciting one-on-one player in basketball today.
Dan Issel didn't get the roll that time, and Jim Bradley did.
Foul, those are excusable. The fouls that are not are the ones where you grab someone and have no reason to do it, or when you foul someone after a basket has been scored.
In the 4-game sweep of the Carolina Cougars, Bradley had 2 super games out of the 4. On the drive, basket is no good, an offensive foul.
And Dan Issel took a real tough blow. He stood there, stood his ground. Ball into Artist on that play.
Chuck down to the right side. Bradley moved to the left side of the key. Still on the right side, to Dampier up high. Ryan Taylor defensively against Captain. Lloyd picks it back up to Chuck Williams. Fakes, goes down the lane, drops it off. Jim Bradley up and in.
This is really giving Artist a hard time underneath the basket. That's going to cause something before the night is over.
Irving on the baseline, goes against the rookie. His jumper off the glass is good.
And 2 centers, Caldwell Jones and Artist Gilmore. Pretty good credentials for a ball player.
Louis Dampier from long range. Shot is no good, but he is creamed by Brian Taylor.
Form.
You jinxed him, John. 5-4, Kentucky leading New York by 1. We're early in this basketball game, first playoff game between Kentucky and the Nets. Off the glass from the left side, John Williamson.
It was just a one-on-one move by Williamson. He took Chuck Williams down the baseline, and then John Williamson shot the ball. Easy ball off the board.
Chuck to Louis. Dampier from long range. It's good.
The Nets are giving the shots to the outside shots. They're trying to really cut Artist off. They're sagging back and deep.
7-6, Kentucky by 1. Louis has 5 of the 7 points, and Jim Bradley has the other 2. Brian Taylor hits for the first time tonight. And it's 8-7, New York by 1. To Gilmore. Artist against Billy Paultz. Goes baseline. Jumper is no good. On the rebound, it's Irving. To Larry Keenan. Rookie drops it off to John Williamson, and he could not control the ball, so Kentucky gets it back. It is 8-7, New York by 1. Colonels in possession with Chuck Williams. Through the lane, left side. Louis Dampier fakes, can't shoot. Double team, back to Chuck. His shot is no good. Rebounded by the Nets.
And the Colonels are going to have to start hitting the offensive board. That time there are 3 white shirts and no blue shirts around the ball.
Gilmore tried to block the rebound shot by Keenan. He didn't even touch the ball, and Keenan missed it. He was intimidated. Dampier off the glass, good.
There's a great intimidation by Artist, and Kevin Lowry is off the bench screaming already at the officials. We'll probably see a lot of that tonight. He's at home, and he'll do quite a bit of helping referee from the bench.
Kentucky leading New York by 1, 9-8. We're in the first quarter, 7 minutes to go, opening period. It's quite a building. My first look at it, the Nassau County Coliseum in Uniondale. Jumper by Dr. J. 6 points so far in this first quarter for the doctor.
That's what makes him so terrific, Dave. If you back off, he shoots the ball, and if you play him tight, he drives on you. And he's a good free throw shooter also. There's a great shooter.
Dan Issel up and in. Good lead pass. Really.
Anytime he's got good hands, and he knows where that basket is, and if he gets near the basket, he's going to get the shot off.
This is a seesaw battle right now. Ryan Taylor misses, but it's recovered by Keenan. His shots in and out for New York. Kentucky in the lead by 1, and the Colonels on the move. Dampier, Chuck Williams. Inside, Jim Bradley. Baseline. Shot no good. Issel is fouled from behind by Kentucky 11, New York 10.
Board.
Gilmore with Paultz defensively. Issel putting it up, and he is fouled.
I think Nets really expected a much bigger crowd here tonight. Last time they played here on the 3rd of February, they had 14,500 people. That's a game the Colonels won 123-91. Artis had 40 rebounds.
Issel fouled from behind.
A man goes by you and he beats you. They try to slap the ball from behind, and that time it was caught. He was caught.
Bradley, Issel. Left side, Chuck Williams looking inside for Dan. Can't get it to him. Will take it himself. Goes baseline. Lost the ball out of bounds.
Chuck tried to grab it and it slipped out of his hands, and the Nets got the ball back. Sometimes it pays and sometimes it doesn't.
I don't believe either club in this first quarter so far has led by more than 1 point, John. It's been a seesaw battle.
Right, and it's a little touchy. You know, they know this is a big game, and they're bound to be a little tense, except that catch.
Julius Erving missed. Kentucky rebound. Dampier. Straight out. Chuck Williams, left side, picked up by John Williamson, goes around the screen, set by Dan Issel, and sets up out high, straight out to Bradley. 11 seconds, and the shot clock as Gilmore gets the ball against Billy Paul.
More of isolate Artis and get the ball to him and get Paul's in trouble, because then they bring in a 6'8" man in Sojourner, and he won't be able to handle Artis.
Williamson to Keenan to Billy Paul against Gilmore. New York, it's 13-12. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. From long range, just inside the three-point circle. Brian Taylor gets away momentarily from Louis Dampier over to Paul's. Almost lost the ball. Williams against John Williams.
Mismatch.
Out front, shot, good. That time, outboard pass, Issel has it, he stuck it. Julius Erving got there a little bit too late.
Dan took off that time and was 1 step ahead of Julius, and the ball was just a little bit higher than Julius could jump, but don't gamble too often that he can jump up and hit the roof.
Larry Keenan, a little bit short. Rolls off the arm of Gilmore. Shot is no good. Rebounded by John Williamson. Back up. That is no good. And we have a foul, and the belief.
When it's on the rim, it's a good call by referee Ed Middleton.
Kentucky in the lead by 3. 17-14. Gilmore with it. Operating against Billy Paul. Hook shot way short. Paul's with his muscle is pushing Artis just a little bit further out than Gilmore was shooting from in the Carolina series. Goes in and out off the fingertips of Larry Keenan, or Julius Erving rather. Dampier.
That time Julius made him
points in his first quarter for Louis Dampier. Averaging just 10 in the playoff series against Carolina. Kentucky 19, New York 14. Colonels leading by 5. Billy Paultz, right side, no good. Gilmore clears for Kentucky. The pass is stolen by Brian Taylor. Across the key, jumper, Williams.
That's what happens usually when you make a mistake. It backfires on you. Artis was in too big a hurry to start the fast break and didn't lob the ball deep enough for Louis. It was intercepted by the Nets.
Issel going inside. It's good. Kentucky still with that 5-point spread over New York as the Colonels respond with a basket of their own.
Dave, this is a physical game. This is a very, very physical game. They're both going to be a tired bunch of young men after this game is over.
21-16. Kentucky by 5. Paultz and Gilmore really battling each other. Jumper from out front, and Jim Bradley has personal foul number 3 on him. So far is Louis Dampier with 9. 21-18, Kentucky in the lead by 3. Dan Issel down the lane, up and in.
He was fouled. Amazing thing before the evening is over. I've never seen Artis and Paultz go at it as strong as they have tonight. They're both physically working each other over.
Williamson still looking inside, drops it off to Brian Taylor. Defensively, it's Louis Dampier. Tries to go down the lane and can't. Williamson, left side baseline.
You can't give up those good shots. They're trying to help each other in the middle, but at the same time they forget and they leave the side man open and he gets the ball. These guards, they've played, they can shoot or they wouldn't be here, and they're making those shots. And there's one that can make them too. Louis Dampier.
Point shot by Louis Dampier.
I've seen Louis Dampier all year.
Taylor. Off the glass, Larry Keenan. That's the first pass. Eric Keenan, the rookie from Memphis State.
Right, but I still think he's a key in this game. Cut him off. You know Irving is going to get his, but don't let Keenan get any more than he has to.
Issel fakes. Good fake. Up off the glass. Boy, he had knocked
right back and go to work on him one more time, because if you can get Irving to get off it, Dan, that'll be a psychological weapon victory for the Colonels.
Keenan misses. Rebounded by Paul. He just muscled the ball. Thomas Jones and puts it back up and in.
Hollis has got the jump. Dan can jump and get down the floor. Great pass.
Lead pass again for Dan Issel quarter. And the Nets will settle for the final shot. Dan Issel with 12 points. Louis Dampier, 12 points.
Colonels are trapping.
In his first
Colonels
quarter.
are trapping.
Williamson, 5 seconds off the glass. It's good. Collins will have to put it up from long range. It's over the backboard. And that's the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Kentucky Colonels 30, the New York Nets 26. And contest already, and we're only starting the second quarter as Paultz takes the tip away from Artis, but Gilmore chases it down after the tip by Collins Jones. Louis Dampier in control out front. Kentucky sitting on a 4-point margin right now over New York. It's 30-26. Gilmore looking for some help. Drops it off to Collins Jones. Trying to find Dan Issel. Can't find it.
Adner's guarding Dan. He's got 4 inches of height.
Gilmore. Not no good. Issel rebounds. Back up and in.
Out of help, and that will help the Colonel cause, because this is where the game is told, will be told against this ball club.
Wendell Ladner operating against Collins Jones. To Billy Paultz. Shot is no good, but traveling.
Vanek watched the check, and the outside official, the man nearest the violation, makes the call. When he saw Middleton call it walking, he did, and there's Loggery again. There he's standing, crouching. He and Bob Leonard have more shoes.
Gilmore across the lane. Shot is no good. Off balance. New York. Inside by Larry Keenan. Kentucky's lead back down to 4. It's 32-28. Colonels on top of the Nets. Chuck Williams shoots from long range. Comes off hard to Gilmore. Artis puts it back up off the glass. It's good.
And that's laying it up there nice and easy. Right now, with Ladner guarding Issel, the Colonels could get the ball to Issel a lot more. And they lose the ball out of bounds right in front of the bench.
York does to Wendell Ladner. Mike Gale, left side. Joe Hamilton on Mike. Jumper a little bit short. Rebounded by Keenan.
That was a bad break for the Colonels. That ball bounced too short. It bounced out just a little farther. Neither got the ball, but that rebounded it right in the hole.
Hamilton from long range. Short off on the right side. John Roach picks it up for Kentucky. Hamilton again. No. Rebounded by Larry Keenan to Mike Gale. Hamilton went for the steal. Didn't get it. Hamilton 5'10". Mike is 6'3" or 6'4". So Gale may take Joe Ham inside tonight. Ladner with it. Drops it off. Keenan out front. Billy Paultz. Williamson. His jumper. No good. Rebounded by Dan Issel to Joe Hamilton. Ladner sticks out the foot to Strickland, but there's no whistle. Gale takes it all the way down. Hands it right to Artis Gilmore.
That was a great play by Ladner, though, Dave. He didn't foul Hamilton. He just made him walk.
All right. Collins Jones hits. The Colonels are back up to that 6-point spread at 36-30.
You know, Dave, I believe in the long run the Colonels have the better bench, and right now it's telling with Collins Jones, Hamilton, and Roach in there.
Mike Gale played his collegiate ball at Elizabeth City. Goes around the screen by Keenan.
This is one thing they didn't expect of Mike Gale. They didn't think he was a great shooter, and he never really demonstrated that when he was with the Colonels, but he's not reluctant to shoot.
36-32, Kentucky by 4. Roach goes baseline, up, in and out. Comes down to Wendell Ladner.
In and out.
Nets on the drive, and the person of Mike Gale stops short at the 3-point circle. Goes left side, can't shoot over Collins Jones. Paultz with it, back to Mike. Mike open for the jumper.
That was just a gift, a Christmas gift to the Nets.
New York has cut that Kentucky lead down to just 2 points. 36-34. Collins Jones.
Well, yes. He got it back. He got it back, Dave. I apologize to him.
That's the best way to get it back.
Right. Everyone can make a mistake. It's those who come up again and rise to the occasion to do well.
Collins with 4 points in the first half. 8:04 to go. First half, Uniondale, New York. Williamson against John Roach. Blocked by Gilmore. Issel saves it. Kentucky's ball. What hustle by Dan Issel tonight.
Dan Issel. That was hardest blocked the shot, but Dan went out after it and knocked it back into him.
Roach gets away from John Williamson, but he can't shoot. Over to Joe Hamilton. 38-34, Kentucky by 4. Issel, short, real soft shot. Rebounded by Collis Jones. It was blocked. Collis on the deck. He's all right, however, as New York brings the ball up court. Larry Keenan, right side. Inside, Williamson, off the glass. Good move by the rookie.
He's great. He played for New Mexico State. He was a great player there in the Missouri Valley, and demonstrating right now why he's playing great with the Nets.
John Roach, in and out. It's no good. New York, for the first time in a long time, can tie it with a basket here.
Charging foul on Ladner. Now buying like they buying Julius Irving. Good draft choices. 6 out of the 11 players are brand new.
Ryan Taylor back into the game for New York, replacing John Williamson. Hamilton down to Dan Issel. Issel inside. Gilmore up and in.
Passed up a good scheme.
40-36. Kentucky by 4. Billy Paultz against Gilmore. Right-handed hook shot. No good. A little bit too. Gilmore has it. Up court. Hamilton. By Wendell Ladner. Picks it back up. Collis Jones. Left side. No foul call. Block shot. New York with it. And Kevin Lockery, the coach of the Nets, called.
Overpowering game.
Julius Irving back into the lineup for New York. Mike Gale against John Roach. Wendell Ladner from far out.
Well, Colonel should know about Ladner. He's not going to pass up a shot, and that was a good shot. And he's a good shooter. He's better than people think that he is as a shooter.
Issel drops it back off to Joe Hamilton. Goes baseline. As the ball rolled away from him, whose basketball is it? Kentucky's ball. By 2. We're in the second quarter. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Roach lost the dribble momentarily. Finds it, operating against Brian Taylor. Right side, Collis Jones. Inside to Artis Gilmore. Hook shot, good by the Big A. 4 games against Carolina.
4 seconds ago on the time clock. Artis got that one off. They had to hustle it. It was his favorite shot, that left-handed skyhook.
Billy Paultz on the high post. Taylor tipped away from Julius Irving by Collis Jones.
Close. He looks much bigger than he does at a distance.
Wendell Ladner.
Played with the ball club and then can come back and score against him. Kind of a pleasant feeling.
42-40. Kentucky leading by 2 points. Issel off the ball, picked up by Ladner. New York can tie it here with a basket. Wendell Ladner inside. Julius Irving up a little bit short. Hamilton has it. Super defense by Gilmore.
You know why he was short? Because Artis was there. You can't go over Artis.
Roach across the top of the key. Dan Issel inside. Beautiful. What an assist. Issel to Gilmore.
Like a volleyball game. They just played the ball above everyone else.
44-40. Kentucky by 4. Billy Paultz inside.
Paultz is a good. I would say that Paultz is probably the most underrated center in the ABA.
Very strong center. Very physical.
Yes. And he is doing a super job on Artis physically.
44-42. Kentucky by 2. Air dribble. Roach.
I'll save your breath. I never saw a referee change a decision yet.
Taylor picked up by Joe Hamilton. Ryan Taylor, 6'3". Little Joe, 5'10". Left side, good. Billy Paultz.
Screen on the baseline, and Artis, of course, is supposed to stay near the basket and guide it. There was a foul there.
Stay with us at halftime and meet the owners of the Kentucky Colonels, John Y. and Ellie Brown. Collis Jones, way short. Issel went for the tip, gets it back, puts it up, blocked by Paultz. Up court pass, Dr. J. New York has taken the lead.
Issel, long pass down the floor. That time Irving took off, and a long pass from Ladner, and he scored.
Gilmore, foul call against Wendell Ladner.
Squires, he's not known as much of a scorer, but he's more or less of a defensive player and a hatchet man.
Roach, baseline. We'll have to bring it back out. Gilmore assist. 46-44. New York by 2. John Roach from long range. No good. The ball goes up.
Something again, I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to try to go to Julius Irving. They're trying to get another basket here. That put a little pressure on the Colonels. Instead of being 2 down, they would be 4 down.
Ladner, way short. Rebounded by Ron Thomas. John Roach with it over to Joe Hamilton, left side. Hamilton against Brian Taylor. To Gilmore. John Roach, Dan Issel, right side. And soft shot, way short. Down to go. Brian Taylor, 46, Kentucky 44. Let's break for this.
One for 57%, but right now, Colonels are down 40 by 2 points, 46 to 44.
Foul called against Brian Taylor out
bench. Right now, the Colonels need a basket. They don't want to get down anymore because a basket could decide this game. This is the type of a game it's going to be.
Hamilton in and out. It's no good. Rebounded by Wendell Ledner. Dr. J on the drive. Takes it down. Blocked by Gilmore. Goal pending against Gilmore.
A little bit of dispute from the Kentucky Colonel bench. Coach Babe McCarthy, Bud Olson, assistant coach, and Pink Gardner, the trainer, were up on that. Ball was up pretty high. Tough call.
48-44. New York by 4. 2 minutes to go, first half. Hamilton into Gilmore. To Ron Thomas. 18-footer Ron, yes.
The playoff games, and he's not reluctant to shoot now. He'll bust that ball.
Thomas averaged 7 points in the 4 games against Carolina. Mike Gale short. Gilmore has it. A minute 42 to go first half. New York by 2, 48-46. Hamilton into the front court against Mike Gale. Over to John Roach. We got Ron Thomas just outside the three-point circle.
See how Irving is backing up. We've got some good three-point shooters in there in Roach and Hamilton now.
Beautiful pass. Missed over by Ron Thomas. New York with it. Mike Gale. Wendell Ledner.
That was just a defensive lapse on the part of the Colonels. You can't ignore anyone. When you get down the offensive end of the court, can't expect them to shoot the ball, miss it, and then start a fast break and go by yourself.
Ledner with 6 points in the second quarter for New York. Hamilton, three-pointer. Yes. New York.
That's one of the nice things about the rule in the ABA. It excites the game. You know you've got a chance as long as that three-point play is there.
Mike Gale, no good. Gilmore clears it for Kentucky to Dan Issel. Blocking foul against right.
Chuck Williams, to me, Dave, that's Mr. Cool of the Colonels.
Williams, right side. Kentucky down by 1. From long range. Basket's good by John Roach. John's first basket of the night. 51-50. Kentucky by 1. 21 seconds remaining. First half.
That's the first time the Colonels have been in the lead in the last 4 minutes. And obviously we know, we can tell, we can see by the Nets are going for 1.
8 seconds remaining first half. Billy Paul's out front. Williams challenge. 5 seconds. 4, 3. Keenan. 2 seconds. 1. That's the end of the first half. And New York has the lead. 52-51 here in Uniondale. Stay with us.
Dave, you can see now what a halftime does to you. The Colonels came out running a pattern there. And I guess Brian to what Kevin Lockley had to say. But they're going to Artis more. I have a hunch this half. And if he's covered, they can kick the ball back to the weak side, who should have an open man.
Chuck Williams brings it to the right side. Gets the return pass from Jim Bradley. Rookie takes it inside. Drops it off to Gilmore. Travels with it. He's serving. Larry Keenan at forwards for New York. Billy Paultz in the middle. For Kentucky, Dampier, Williams, Jim Bradley, Dan Issel, Artis Gilmore. Dr. J to Larry Keenan. Irving operating against the rookie Jim Bradley. Goes right side. Drew a foul. Forward. Overplay Dr. J to his left or his right side because he is just a sensational basketball player. Very well-rounded, exceptionally.
Right, I think he has all the moves of any greats I've ever seen.
Gilmore. Foul may be against Billy Paultz. Yes, it is. 57-53. New York up by 4, and the Nets steal the ball. And the pass intended for Artis Gilmore. Dr. J.
Well, what happened down here, Keenan sloughed off in front of Artis, and they still try to force the ball through people, and you don't do that. You make sure that the pass is accurate to Artis. He has a tough time getting it without trying to force it to someone. See how Williamson is backing off on Chuck. He's got to start shooting that ball.
Jim Bradley, short. Issel gets the rebound for Kentucky, back up and in. 59-55, New York leading Kentucky by 4. We're in the third quarter, just under 10 minutes remaining in this period. Irving missed it. Rebounded by New York. Put back up, foul underneath. I think it's against Dan Issel.
Right.
Like Julius Irving.
Well, for one thing, more money. And a good pass from Artis to Dan. Issel got them on a switch. Dan was wide open, and great pass. But talking about Keenan, it makes him a better ball player because he plays with him and practices with him every day.
Shot, no good. Rebounded by Jim Bradley. 61-57, New York by 4. Kentucky with it. Williams. Underneath, Jim Bradley. No basket, travel with it.
That's a rookie for you. That's why they call him that. That's inexperience. He was so glad to get the ball, he forgot about it. You put the ball in a basket first, or you bounce it before you walk with it.
Balls, left side.
That was a simple screen play. Keenan went over and picked Artis' man, Paulson. Paulson was wide open for a shot on the baseline, and he's tough from there.
10 points for Billy Pauls. Out to Chuck Williams. Chuck operating against John Williamson. 17-footer, yes.
Now this is what the Kentucky guards are going to have to do to make the New York Nets play honest defense. They're going to start shooting, have to start shooting from the outside, and have to hit. But I know they can hit if they'll just shoot.
Chuck Williams tips the ball away from John Williamson. 8.5 minutes.
Julius Irving. And then when he saw that Bradley did a super job on him, Paul pulled up high. Artis was afraid again to leave, and he went up and shot the ball.
Nice lead pass for Dan, but couldn't get it up and in the hole. New York, Brian Taylor, good. Foul against Chuck Williams.
He should get the far and be behind out of it. Be so far and behind out of it before you know it. So now the Colonels have their jobs cut out for them. They've got to go to work. They've got to get the ball inside.
Brian Taylor with a quick hand.
Help on Williams.
Chuck about 22 feet away. Gets it to Artis Gilmore, right side. New York leading the Colonels by 9. But he falls defensively against Gilmore. Off the glass, in and out. It's no good. Irving rebound. We're in the third quarter in New York. It is the Nets 68, Kentucky 59. Dr. J short. Foul inside, and it's against Jim Bradley. New York has outscored Kentucky so far in this third quarter as Ron Thomas and John Roach are up off the bench. They'll be coming in momentarily. John Williamson against Chuck. Chuck stole the ball and then commits the foul. Game by either team. New York by 11. 70-59 over Kentucky. Dr. J went for the steal and instead gets the personal foul. That's his third. Thomas back to Louis Dampier. On the right side, out front, John Roach, 23-footer, short on the floor. Ron Thomas scoops it up for Kentucky. To Louis Dampier. Louis looking for some help. Gets it over to John. Roach drives through the lane to Louis Dampier. 15-footer in the bag. Dampier.
What the Nets are doing, the off guard is sliding back to cover up and help Artis.
Billy Paul.
That's his favorite spot. He's trying to take Artis away from the basket. Artis is in a dilemma. He's got a tough choice. Either go out after him, leave the basket unprotected, or give him the shot.
Ron Thomas, right side, puts it up. Short. Rebounded by Larry Keenan over to John Williamson. 72-61, New York by 11. Nets with the basketball. Third quarter. About 6 minutes to go. Thomas trying to get the ball away. Can't do it. Irving.
Before he could be called for goaltending. Now, Artis was way on the other side of the basket that time, or I'm going to start wearing glasses because I don't see how that could call, but it was.
Issel on the floor. Irving scoops it up for New York. The Nets lead by 13 in this opening game of the playoffs. Brian Taylor all the way down. 15-point lead.
Well, again, the Colonels were looking for help when someone got by, and Artis was away from the basket, and that time he couldn't help, and New York net guard went right in and scored all the way.
Roach saw Dampier inside, tried to get it to him. Irving, or New York, stole the ball, and Thomas steals it back for Kentucky. Ron Thomas up in the air.
Good pass from Louis Dampier.
What a fantastic third quarter so far for New York. 76-63. The Nets leading Kentucky by 13. A lot of time left, however. 5:16 third quarter.
All we need is a hot streak. Someone for the Colonels to start knocking in. 4 or 5. Help.
Keenan. John Williamson fakes against Roach. Irving. Off the glass. No good.
New York Nets with 4:56 to go in the third period.
Billy Paltz against Artis Gilmore. Back out to Red Robbins and to Louis Dampier. Around the screen, looking inside, can't find anybody. Ron Thomas on the baseline, right side. Dampier fakes, can't shoot. Goes baseline, he is pushed out of bounds by Larry Keenan.
Well, that's an ABA rule for you, Dave. I refuse to comment.
We're in the third quarter, 4:41 remaining. 76-63, New York leading Kentucky by 13. John Roach, three-pointer. In and out, it's no good. Robbins rebounds. But tries to put it back up, and Mike Gay. New York with a 12-point spread on Kentucky right now. 76-64. 4.5 minutes to go. Third quarter. Mike Gale in control, left side. Keenan, turnaround jumpers, no good. Lost out of bounds. It'll belong to Kentucky.
Dave, every fantastic streak here in the third quarter. The Colonels now have to play a little defense until they have an opportunity to make their own streak.
Kentucky with it. Gilmore. Gilmore misses the second one. 76-65. New York by 11. Williamson fakes, now puts it up. No good. Short. Rebounded. Offensive rebound, New York.
In the blue.
Go up over you, and they're getting some of those. Now, those are the kind that really hurt when you block a man out and he still gets the rebound on you.
19 points in the game for Dr. J. Shot by Louis Dampier is no good. New York with it. 78-65. The Nets by 13 right now over Kentucky. 3.5 minutes to go. Third quarter. Irving blocked by Gilmore.
Make an effort to go for the boards. He just keeps Artis off the boards.
Dampier all the way in. Drops it off to Ron Thomas, to Red Robbins, John Roach, to Gilmore. Tipped away by Paltz. New York with it. Mike Gale. Up court, Dr. J. No good. Rebounded. Larry Keenan back up. Good. New York with its biggest lead. 17-point spread on Kentucky. 3 minutes, third quarter. Roach to Gilmore, back to John. Williamson picks him up, back to Artis. Gilmore, Ron Thomas on the offensive tip.
Dave, the guards have got to start shooting. I can't understand Roach not wanting to shoot here. He's played here before. He knows the court, and he'd want to be a hero at home. He ought to be busting that ball instead of trying to get it in through people. That's what caused the last basket.
All the nets are now sagging on Gilmore since the guards are not shooting. 82-67. New York by 15. 2.5 minutes, third quarter. Paltz out front. Dumps it inside. Keenan with it. Off the glass, no good. Tipped up, good.
I can't believe they let him have that basket. Now, that ball was on the rim when it was touched.
John Roach, baseline. Shot, no good. Red Robbins back up and in. 3 points in the game. Lost it. New York with a 15-point lead in the closing minutes now of the third quarter as Dan Issel comes back in for Kentucky. 84-69. The Nets by 15. Irving. Dr. J making his move. 13 points in this third quarter for Julius Irving. 25 in the game. Louis Dampier. Shot won't fall for him.
Playing center. Colonels are doing a little bit of pressing.
New York breaks it. Irving, right side, operating against Dan Issel. Will bring it back out high. 1:25 to go, third quarter. 15-point New York Bulls. 86-71. Paltz with it, right side. Issel defensively. Hook shot off the glass, no good. Dampier gets it for Kentucky. 1:10 remaining, third quarter. Gale picks up Louis, pulls up short, passes it off. Dan Issel up. No, it wouldn't fall again. 20 points in the game for Dan Issel. Mike Gale fouled in the backcourt by Dan Issel.
That was a good call. Dan went for the
Carolina series, looked like a Sunday school picnic.
Well, that was I don't know how to compare it except it's like a lightweight fight and a heavyweight fight. Now, this is a heavyweights tonight.
Dampier, inbound by Willie Sojourner, and Louis is really...
Man, that's a foul.
Inbounds pass to Ron Thomas. 15-point New York lead. 42 seconds remaining, third quarter. Dampier up. Boy, he had to work for that one.
He certainly did, but the time was running out, so you have to take the shot. And fortunately, Louis, like Dan Issel, if he gets around the basket, he'll get off a fairly good percentage shot.
18 points in the game for Louis Dampier. 25 seconds remaining, third quarter. 18 on the shot clock. 88-75, New York leading Kentucky by 13. Defensively, Dampier. Offensively, Gale drops it off to Sojourner. 7 seconds on the shot clock. John Williamson backing in against John Roach. 4, 3 seconds, 2, off balance. Oh, goodness.
1 second to go on the clock.
2 seconds to go in the third quarter. Roach will not get it off. That's the end of the third quarter with a score. New York 90, Kentucky 75.
He's got to start hitting, start shooting, and start hitting.
Kentucky gets the opening tip for this fourth quarter. Issel takes it all the way down. Billy Paultz and Julius Erving both getting a rest right now.
Right. Well, right now, the first 5 minutes of this period could tell if the Colonels could get in close and make it a 4 or 5 point ball game, be different. But if they get down another 4 or 5, it's going to be a lot tougher.
Gilmore had it, lost it. Simon picks it up for Kentucky. The Colonels down by 13. Walt Simon moves to his left side, puts it up. It is good. That's his best move to the left.
Right. That's an indication that if he hits that first one, he'll shoot from here on in. And you can already see that Kevin Logre is not taking any chances with a 11-point lead. He's getting in his big men. He's getting Big Paultz back into the ball game.
Larry Keenan, right side, his shot. Good. Keenan, 16 points for Larry in the game so far. Averaged 17 in the playoff series against Virginia. Tried to force it inside and hit the bottom of the backboard. New York winds up with it. Nets leading Kentucky by 13. 92-79. We're in the fourth quarter. Just under 11 minutes remaining in the game. Ledner to Larry Keenan. Fakes, puts it up. Good.
Well, I said before the game that Keenan is a key. And right now he's proving it because Irving has got his 25 points. And you can expect him to get it, but you don't expect Keenan to get 16. 3 periods of play.
94-81, New York by 13. Williamson, Gale operating at the guards right now for the Nets. Billy Paultz, he's had a fine game. In control of Wendell Ladner from long range.
You can't let him shoot. You know, he gets fired up before a crowd like this, especially playing against Kentucky. And he'll shoot that ball, and he has a good motion. Sometimes you may disregard him on other things, but he can shoot. Kentucky in the first period shot 9 out of 18. New York 14 out of 26. Fantastic.
Gilmore, baseline, can't shoot.
3.
Louis Dampier, three-pointer, no good. Rebounded by Issel. Back up, missed it. New York on the move. Dr. J. I think he tried to pass it.
That wasn't a shot. That was a pass, really.
Kentucky comes up with it. John Roach into the front court. 96-81. New York by 15. Roach all the way in. Off the glass. No good. Julius Erving with a rebound. To Mike Gale. Williamson right side. Pulls up. Puts it airborne. No good. Foul called. It's against Walt Simon.
15 points for Williamson. And there's another rebound. Took a New York bounce. 2 points basket by Mike Gale.
18-point lead, New York. The biggest lead of the game. 99-81. Dampier goes all the way in, lays it up. It's good. Foul call.
Fouls on Billy Paultz.
Lead, Louis Dampier, 21 points.
Hold the Nets for about 4 or 5 minutes with a few points. We'll give you a little something to work with, and we could get the Colonels fired up, but if they exchange baskets from here on in, it'll be all over.
Billy Paultz, defensively, is Dan Issel. Trying to back his way in. Jumper, no good. Off. tip by Mike Gale in the foul against
assist, leading an assist in the league. Sometimes I think he wants to lead too much in assists and forgets about shooting.
Right into the hands of Mike Gale. Puts it up, a little bit short. Rebounded by Simon, and Gale on his back.
Getting plenty of shots from the outside, and he should take them. There's Williamson backing off. You can tell 4 feet he's backing off.
99-84, New York by 15. Kentucky in need of a basket here. Lead pass to Dennis. Back to Joe Hamilton. He's up for good. Hamilton with 5 points in the game. 8 minutes remaining. 13-point lead, New York. Wendell Ladner, left side, takes the jumper. Way short. Chuck Williams clears it for Kentucky. Joe Hamilton operating against Mike Gale. Fakes, can't shoot. To Chuck Williams. Back to Little Joe. Round the screen, set by Gilmore. Shot, no good. Gilmore went for the hit, couldn't get it. Holtz.
Ball bounced the wrong way. Gilmore was there. He would have dunked it. New York wants a timeout.
7:34 remaining in this basketball game. Timeout on the court. The score, the Nets 99, the Colonels 86, and we'll be back after.
The Colonels are behind 99-86 with 7:30 to go in the ball game. Defense is going to have to take over to hold the Nets until the Colonels can get their offense going. There's plenty of time. You can't afford to get back behind anymore. And there's a foul on Walt Simon. Good push, Julius Irving, because he's going to get the shot off. And he's such a great shooter and dangerous shooter. And there he goes one-on-one.
Irving drops it over to Mike Gale. His jumper good.
And that's one the Colonels didn't expect, because in their pregame strategy, they said let Gale have the shot, but try to help on Irving. And that time when Joe did, Gale was open and he hit it.
10 points in the game for Mike Gale. Chuck Williams over to Walt Simon. Walter's shot. He's high. 2 minutes to go.
Lots of time, Dave. Just a little pound that's here, a little defense.
Holtz. Defensively, it's Gilmore. On the right side, drops it off to Mike Gale. On the screen, Mike again. He's high.
No, you can't give shots like that. If you get picked off, you've got to get help. You've got to switch, but you just can't let Gale go around as he did on the pick and score.
Simon, nice move against Julius Irving.
Certainly did. I think that amazed Julius, because that's one of Julius's moves, not Walt Simon's. He a great fake to the middle, then reversed, went to the baseline. Irving just stood there and watched him.
103-90, New York in the lead. Billy Paultz. Left side.
See, that's what makes him so tough. You give him the shot, he hits it. If you play him tight, he's gone. If he gets near the basket, he must have 1,001 different ways to shoot the ball.
Hamilton.
3.
In and out, it's no good. Gilmore with a rebound. Fakes, puts it back up, good.
That's like the foresight. Give him the basket. Don't worry about anything else.
105-92. New York still with that 13-point spread on Kentucky. 5.5 minutes remaining in this basketball game. Irving takes it in.
Kentucky forgot to help on a weak side. Simon had to front Irving. They got the ball to Irving. He just went for the basket. No one was there to help. If he's near that close to the basket, he's going to score.
Walt Simon fakes. Drops it back off to Chuck Williams. On the baseline, his jumper in and out. It's no good. Rebounded by Dr. J. Irving will set it up with 5 minutes on the clock, and it's 107-92.
The Nets have obviously slowed it down. They're going to slow it down, because ordinarily Julius Irving would have made a great move for the basket on anyone guarding him. He's going to make one here, too.
Billy Paultz, Wendell Ladner. There's no shooting.
No. You talk about someone coming back to haunt you. Darn Ladner has, and Gale, too.
Both of them are in double figures tonight. 10 points for Wendell, 12 for Mike Gale. Hamilton around the screen, puts it up, short. Bounds off the foot of Artis Gilmore. New York was a
Nets at their best in Lexington on March 16th when they won in overtime 114-12. But that night it was all Julius Irving. But tonight it's a lot of New York Nets, and they're all doing a super job. They're playing basketball the way it should be played.
Super balance tonight for New York.
That's exactly right.
Ball tip Irving.
Sounds like the Gladiators.
Dr. J back to Billy Paultz on the right side against Artis Gilmore. Hook shot. Oh, my goodness.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and tonight everything is going right for the New York Nets.
Simon hits. 8 points in the game for Walt, all here in the final quarter. 111-94. It's all over with the final score.
Depends on how much the Nets want to do, whether Lowry wants to substitute and save for Monday, or does he want to run the score up?
3.5 minutes remaining in the game. 111-94 New York. They have been tremendous in this second half. Hit, no good. Kentucky with it. Hamilton stole. The Nets are pulling all the strings the right way tonight.
Everything they've touched tonight has turned to gold. I'd say tonight the Nets came to play, and the Colonels are not exactly up to par for this game.
Ladner. Julius Irving.
Well, that's one of Ladner's favorite tricks. If you remember, he'd get up in the air and fake a shot, and you'd think he was going to shoot it, but it was a pass, and that time was one of those lob passes to Julius Irving, and he made it.
Gilmore drops it off to Walt Simon. 10 points in this quarter for Walt. 113-96, New York. By 17. Ryan Taylor to Wendell, all the way out front to Billy Paul. 2.5 minutes remaining in the game, and the chant is for number one, as led by Dancing Harry.
I've seen it all. You know, one consolation, Dave, if you're going to get beat, it'd be better to get beat by 10, 12, 14, 15 points in 1 or 2.
Hamilton, nice move by Little Joe, takes it all the way inside. 7 points for Hamilton, but 33 points for Julius Irving, and yet Julius Irving has not been the difference in this game. Hamilton, lead pass, Walt Simon, Ladner defensively, takes it inside, blocked by Gale, foul against Mike Gale.
Just
Gone out of the 4 inside people for New York. Irving, Keenan, Fultz, Ladner.
Yes, and usually you don't see that happen to the Kentucky Colonels. Their guards may be outscored, but not their inside men. I would think that Walt Simon tonight on his play in the second half may have earned himself a starting job for Monday night's game.
Gale, 1:20 remaining in the game. 15-point lead, New York. Turnaround jumper. There's nothing you can do tonight, as Dr. J has 35.
You know, if I had a valuable piece of property like that, I don't think that I'd leave him in a ball game now that it's out of reach.
Hits, but it's a little bit too late.
You should have started doing that sooner. You hit from the outside, you make the defense honest. If you don't hit and don't shoot from the outside, they sag back and shut off your inside men, as the Nets obviously have done tonight to the Kentucky Colonels.
Less than a minute remaining in the game. 52 seconds. It's 117-102 New York. Mike Gale. He's off. Rebounded by Joe Hamilton as he picks it up off the deck. 40 seconds remaining in the game. Walt Simon fakes. Can't put it up. Collis Jones inside. Missed everything. Robbins is in the right place. At the right time.
This game here, they were hoping that they could split. Now, Nets are going to be up for that ball game as they are for this. And I really think this is one time when the crowd gave the Nets a big hand. This is a very enthusiastic and a knowledgeable crowd.
Back out front to Mike Gale. 23 seconds remaining in the game. Wendell Ladner, three-pointer misses. By Larry Keenan.
Another mistake by the Colonels, throwing the ball in. Taylor intercepts it, and there goes Keenan again.
Tipped up. Rolls off, tipped up again, good.
No good.
Basket. Basket interference on New York. The goal will not count. 119-104 is the way it stands right now. New York is won with 9 seconds remaining. We are only waiting a final score.
Right. You know, Larry Keenan, the more I see of him now, the more I'm impressed that he is the Rookie of the Year. And he certainly has made that great transition from college ball at Memphis State to professional basketball. He looks like a pro out there instead of a rookie. Keenan, that Irving would get his, and that would be it. But Keenan has been fantastic with 20 points. And Red Robin just made 2 more free points. He's still shooting 1,000%.
The former Colonel will bring it in. To Wendell Ladner, tipped by Red Robbins. Walt Simon gets it up. It does not count. If it had gone, I think it would have, but it still does not change the outcome of this basketball game. New York 119, Kentucky 106. John, the New York from the Nassau County Coliseum, New York 119, Kentucky 106. We'll see you Monday night at 7 o'clock. John Dromo, this is Dave Conrad. Good night.
Right time to the right person. And when you need a
Fenders? About 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock? Did you spend the night here or did you start out?
Danny, what about a fender or just standing in front?
Out of sight, yeah.
Back up with the lights for a minute.
That's what I heard.
We got a set of keys.
About 5 or 6 people. I don't have any keys.
We'll get them for you.
There's number 5. Who's number 5? Never mind. Go, John. Come on, John. Go.
Whenever there's criticism, there's need for a change, and I think, you know, I've improved over the years, hope to continue to improve, and, you know, to improve with the Nets. I'd like to have it that way anyway.
Who do you think is going to be the team you're going to have to beat? It looks like perhaps the Indiana Pacers might be a sleeper, do you think?
The Pacers are coming on strong. They're playing very well now. We just played them. They beat us out there. And every man on their team is a great, you know, ball player. So if they put it all together, they're going to be tough. But, of course, the team in the East is the Kentucky Colonels, I feel. We have to beat to get to the Indiana Pacers first.
It's going to go all the way, do you think?
We feel we have as good a chance as any ball club in the ABA to win the championship. To say we're going to go all the way, we feel we are, but again, you have to produce it, and you have to do the job on the floor. It's easier to talk about championships than produce them.
New York Nets not be the next champions of the ABA, it would seem fairly certain that their coach, Kevin Lowry, would be this year's Coach of the Year. This is Brian Madden in New York. York Nets, watching them in the scrimmage, they look like a very relaxed and loose team, but yet serious.
Very serious. Today, I think, was probably one of our most aggressive practices that we've had all season, and I think it's at a good time because we had 5 must games ahead of us, and, you know, we played San Antonio once, Denver twice, and they're probably the 2 most physical teams in the league. So I think the way to counter their being physical is to be physical with them, and with the talent that we have, if we play as aggressive during those games as we have in practice today, we shouldn't have any problem winning.
Jerry, I'm going to make Are you guys in front? Want to get? Somebody's getting a left to right over, right? Are you getting a left to right? Jerry, can you get down a little minute while he's shooting? Oh, boy. You been on just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm doing without film. These guys are doing with film. Beautiful.
Just the one shot. Yeah. Okay. Dean, what does a program like this mean to young basketball players?
Well, basically, it gives a lot of players a chance to be exposed to the public. Plus, it gives the public a chance to see a lot of the pros that they never got a chance to see during the year. I think it's a very spirited tournament. I think things will work out. The national championships will be something that will set a precedent.
What if they had had something like this when you were a kid? Do you think you would have learned a little bit more about basketball faster?
Definitely, I'll learn the basics more. You know, I don't know about the game itself.
What about playing on the field or in the streets? It's you get a lot of bad habits, do you think, that can be corrected by something?
New York and Denver are member franchises of the American Basketball Association. No franchise may withdraw from our league without first assigning all basketball-related property to the league and without obtaining the consent of the other trustees. This has not been done.
What happens if the NBA does decide to act favorably upon these applications? Mr. O'Brien has gone on record as saying that they will consider them.
Well, I think that it's his duty and job to consider them. However, I don't feel that they'll be approved.
Why do you say that?
Because I think that after they reviewed our bylaws, which perhaps they should be aware of, I feel that they'll turn it down.
once you get up in the air and you explode, then comes the time when you relax. You know, and I guess this is where the gracefulness is shown.
We have to have a certain look. We have to have a certain proportion. We have to have an aesthetic line and form. An athlete doesn't necessarily have to have that, but somebody like the good doctor there, he's got it all. You know, he's got all the grace and all the moves and all the lines and all the timing. He would have made a great dancer. Basketball players quite often do such balletic things, we can recognize them and give them terms. Quite often guys will go up and they'll go around once, they'll do an air tour as they're heading for the basket. They'll fake one way and then go the other and go straight up in the air. And that is a particular move that we do.
Somehow he hangs in the air when others have to return to earth, leaping and turning in ways that seem to defy gravity. Impossible movement. There is a freedom of motion that suggests something outside the realms of basketball.
Every night you go and see a basketball game, you'll see many of the same type of moves that you see if you went to a ballet studio.
Oh no, I don't want to go near that place. I'm sorry to say, I don't want to. I want to play in the auditorium, convention hall, and then I hope to play other places in the state. He didn't do anything, honestly, because Jack is not that kind of guy. He didn't make any wild promises. I had my accountants go over it. I had my legal opinions on the thing.